each and every one of you in attendance today should know that the families of Naftali, Gilad, and Eyal, they can all feel your love. They can all feel your support. And they can feel how much you care about the safety of their children. They can hear us chanting, "Bring back our boys." And they can hear us singing, "Shavu vanim l'gvulam." I regularly speak with relatives who make daily visits to the Franco resident, Naftali's home. And I can tell you with certainty that our chanting and our singing is helping these families stay strong during this very difficult time. Going forward, whatever we do, we must not stop chanting, and we must not stop singing until these boys come home. Thank you so much for your support. As the days since the kidnapping continue to add up, we must not slow down our waves of support for these families. It is absolutely essential. It is now day 12 since the kidnapping, and as I stare into this very impressive crowd, I am reassured to see that for so many of us, our devotion to the Bring Back Our Boys campaign is just as strong on day 12 as it was on day 1. Nonetheless, as we move forward, we must be mindful of the powerful effect of time. For time has the power to weaken our faith that these boys will return home. And time has the power to weaken our fervor for supporting these families. Naturally, the more time that passes without hearing good news, the less faith we have that Israel will help end up finding these boys. And the more time that passes, the less fervor we naturally have for supporting the boys' families, as the kidnapping incident naturally fades into our memory, from our memories. And yet maintaining our faith and maintaining our fervor for support could not be more important at this particular moment in time. For it is specifically at this moment, as we approach the 2-week mark since the kidnapping, when the families are likely to begin losing hope that they will reunite with their children. And therefore it is specifically at this moment when our support for these families and our hopeful attitudes towards the situation can play a major role in helping these families keep their spirits high. For this reason, we must strive with every ounce of our being to fight off the natural effect of time. We must not let time rob us of our faith that these boys will come home. And we must not let time rob us of our fervor for supporting the families of these boys. And if there are 2 messages that I hope each of you can take away from today's rally, it is exactly that. First, don't let time rob you of your faith that these boys will come home. And second, don't let time rob you of your fervor for supporting these families. Lose our faith and we must not lose our fervor, and I will elaborate very briefly on each. First, we must not lose our faith that these boys will come home safely. For the first couple of days after I found out that my cousin Naftali got kidnapped, I felt down and disturbed. Whenever I would eat breakfast or casually watch TV, I would just think about what was happening to Naftali at that moment. I would imagine the pain that he must have been experiencing, and I couldn't relax. But it was then that I found the boost of positivity in the most unlikely of sources. A video on CNN.com of Racheli Franco, the mother of Naftali and my father's first cousin, Watching Racheli speak to the media with such an optimistic attitude about the situation, and hearing her express her faith that she will be able to hug her child very soon, had a profound impact on me. As I watched her speak, I thought to myself, if Naftali's mother is able to be so positive about a disturbing situation, surely I, Naftali's cousin, should be able to be positive about the situation. And ever since, my attitude towards the situation has become significantly more hopeful. As I learned from my experience listening to Naftali Franco, positivity is contagious. And just as the positivity expressed by Naftali's family uplifted my spirits, the positivity we express here in the U.S. can uplift the spirit of these three families. Having spoken a few days ago to Naftali's grandmother, my grandmother's sister, I can tell you with certainty that our expression of hope that these boys will return home soon gives each of these families an extra boost of hope that they will soon be reunited with their children. We must not lose our faith, because our expression of faith in so many ways can strengthen the faith of these families. Let us take a moment to say to the families of Naftali, Eyal, and Gilad, any moment now we will hear good news, and you will be there to hug your boys. Second, we must not lose our fervor for supporting these families. It is now day 12, and this is a critical hour for all of us. Today, the story of the kidnapping stands at the crossroads between old news and new news. And as the story becomes older news, it is only natural that our urge to plan solidarity rallies for the abducted children will gradually grow weaker. It will be a challenge for all of us here in America to keep the faces of Naftali, Gilad, and Eyal in the forefronts of our minds. And our waves of support will be inclined to gradually subside. The families of the children may not see communities across the globe expressing their support with the same fervor they had immediately after the kidnapping. And yet these families need our support now more than ever before. The less emotional support they receive from communities across the globe, the lower their spirits will likely fall. And our passionate display of care and concern for these three families reassure these families that people all over the world can feel their pain. And as their sense of hope dwindles a little more with each passing day, this is by no means the appropriate time to slow down our activism and let our waves of support subside. We must not lose our fervor for the Bring Back Our Boys campaign. We must not lose our sense of urgency that each and every one of us has a special role to play in our collective effort to bring these boys home. To this end, I kindly ask each of you if you would be willing to take a few minutes every day to help spread awareness among your family members and friends about the kidnapping of my cousin and the two other boys. Between solidarity, rallies, and fundraising events, there's so many ways each of you can contribute to this noble cause. Thank you, and may we hear good news very soon.